It is not dead. It is just delayed. I'm sure Senator Baker can tell us. And so we've had to definitely reconstruct the organization a lot. We came out here. We were going off, the winds in Washington and Minnesota, and the strong support that we see all over the country. And we thought, we could go in and this bill would be passed, and it would be very easy because this is Hawaii. And we realized that that was not 100% the case. But that just means we have to get stronger. And so really, through reconstructing, we've seen that there are really 3 steps to winning this campaign. The first is merit, and just having a good cause that makes sense. What doesn't make sense about love? Like that is, there's a lot of merit there. The second is political will, which we saw this year. It just was not there. Unfortunately, marriage equality continues to be a bit of a controversial issue, and this was just not the time in Hawaii. But we are hoping that by next year, with more and more states bringing up marriage legislation, the Supreme Court case, hopefully that will overrule DOMA, will hopefully make it so the political field really is more set up for this type of legislation. And then the last thing is having a strong grassroots effort and having a strong presence of every, the LGBT community, allies, really anyone, even just standing by equality and love, and coming out, contacting their legislatures, telling people, friends, hosting parties, to talk about these issues. That's really what we're going to have to do throughout 2013 to make sure that at the beginning of next year's legislative session, this will be passed, or at least brought up. Passed. So really, that's why we're all here. And unfortunately, since this has become a much longer campaign than we originally anticipated, fundraising is incredibly important. Just to be able to contact those legislatures, to be able to show that support, to have lobby days, to get people riled up. And so that is why it is so important. I know that it is difficult times for everyone, but really anything you can give to help this effort, we would 100% appreciate. And really, I just want to thank Brian and Chris for all of the work that they did, getting everyone here. And I want to thank every single one of you for taking the time to come to this event, to supporting this effort, hopefully financially. Really, we can't thank you enough. And just stay involved. I have a lot of literature that if you want to take and read and pass along, really just get involved and say, this is time. This is time for love. This is time for equality. So yeah, thank you all for coming.
You came here from going through other states and trying to do movements, or
I actually I had been here working on a Senate race in 2012, and I actually went home.
Where's home?
I see, I always forget. To the East Coast. I'm actually originally from New Jersey. I lived in D.C. for years before I came out here. And, it's very far, and, I absolutely love Hawaii, but, I missed it a lot, and I got the call, saying, this organization is starting, we're starting this campaign, and we could really use your help, and I said, okay, I'll be there in 2 weeks. And here no, really, thank all of you. Thank all of you for coming and supporting.
And Claire, the donations are all tax deductible?
They are, that's an interesting question. We actually,
not so much.
It is a C4, however, we can give it to Equality Hawaii, which is a nonprofit organization, has the C3, so we can transfer and discuss that accordingly.
Doesn't matter anyway.
Exactly. Does anyone have any other questions?
Government will get our money one way or the other.
firstly, having parties like this. I love having house parties, just because at this point, financially, just in order to make it until next January, that really is important. But it also gives everyone a chance to come together and kind of find out a little bit more about the cause. So really having those parties, as well as, because we are trying to sway the legislature, it's very important that we get the support of businesses, local businesses. We actually have Aqua Resorts and Hotels, the corporation, has publicly endorsed us. So, just getting strong members of the community, as well as union support, and faith-based, which we actually have a very large concert that's being organized by the Unitarian Universalist Church on April 6th in Honolulu. Because unfortunately in this issue, a lot of times religion gets brought up, and people don't always see the people who are religious and in the faith community who do support our cause. And, that's also very important. And actually, my coworker, who unfortunately was unable to come today, but he handles all of the kind of endorsements and coalition aspect, and I would be happy to give you his information, because especially the other islands, it's a little difficult because we do not have a base here. So it requires a lot of grassroots and really the people coming together and saying this is something that we want to support.
So if we contact you, could we get like information to give to others?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I have some literature here, and I'll be happy to pass along anything else. And hopefully, if I can make some more trips out here, I won't be complaining.
So do you have a listserv so that we can sign up and you can
We do.
always be giving us?
We do. You can actually sign up for everything on our website, which is Hawaii United for Marriage, or I can just take down your information, do it the old-fashioned way. And we have a ton of information on there, as well as the Equality Hawaii website. Is anyone involved in Equality Hawaii? Okay, so we do have a few. And do you guys have meetings on Maui, or are you more part of?
No, my, at least involvement is through Honolulu.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they do have some efforts over here, but it's really kind of important that everybody, through what avenue, whether it's the Democratic Party, all of these different websites, stay in touch, because I'm hoping that we have everybody together when the legislature opens next year, and we can make a really big push to get it adopted.
And really just showing the support, just showing that, it's time to stop playing politics with people's lives. This is love. And the best way to do that is to, come out in numbers and really show that we are strong and we aren't going anywhere. We will have marriage equality in Hawaii. Any other questions?
One more question.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to clarify for everybody. Because we're asking people to start this grassroots movement, when somebody comes up to me and says, oh, I thought, you could get married in Hawaii already. What's the difference between civil unions and marriage? And why is marriage so fundamental to equality and not civil unions?
Because separate is not equal. Civil unions, that was a huge step, and that was only 2 years ago. So we were very ambitious, thinking, we could jump right to marriage right away. But really it's about, marriage means something in our society. It's symbolic. It really, and to deny anyone that right, based on who they want to marry, is just, that's not equal. And, this is kind of a long answer, and we have some wonderful literature on the Supreme Court case that is coming up, but little summary. We are hoping that through by overturning DOMA, it will allow for states, for people who have legally married. So if you live in a state that does allow same-sex marriage, you will get federal benefits as well. That is what the Supreme Court case is about, because currently, even if you do live in a state where you can get married, you do not receive federal benefits. So, but if we do not have marriage here, we only have civil unions, you will still not get those benefits. So and that's why it's very important that if they do overturn it, it's essential that, because that creates an even bigger disparity between civil unions and marriage.
And it's you can file your taxes too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's really where the inequality issue comes up.
Is it the religious right, or what's really, you know, I mean, it seems so backward that Hawaii still hasn't, you know, pushed this through.
Because we are so, you know, liberal and we're so open and loving here that it wouldn't.
Let me just place it in context. Okay. We are still trying to fight for emergency contraceptives in the ER for rape victims. This has been a standard of care throughout the country for like 18, 21 years. So that sort of gives you a context for why we're a great place for equality, but sometimes some of the individual groups and some of the individual rights fall through the cracks. That's why this is so important. It really is about making sure that everybody who has a loving relationship has an opportunity. There's the responsibilities and there's the downside to it, you know. But it's not that unusual in Hawaii. Sometimes we look like we're very forward-thinking, but we can also act like we're very conservative.
That was a good answer.
Pamela.
Yes.
Pam. Hi. Nice to
So, let me say something. Okay, so, I mean, we still have plenty of food and plenty of wine. So, yeah, we're encouraging you to stay until, you know, the last drop is done. And I'll play some more music or have the violinist come out and play some more.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
She's actually volunteering her time here. She is,
Oh, you bet.
yes, to support the cause.
Yeah, so just thank you so much, everybody, for showing up and showing your support. And again, you know, marriage is not about, you know, benefits and tax write-offs. It's about equality and love. So that's what we're trying to say here. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.